and welcome. If you found this video, you clicked on it, and you wanted to know why is she not blue, Matt, what do you think about why is she not blue?
Blue enough, I'm
She's
telling you.
blue. Okay, she's blue.
She's blue enough. She's
we
not blue. She's just less
how
blue than
how
you've seen her.
how what's the percentage of blue you think she has right now?
I think we're sitting at a solid 35%.
35, and you're happy with 35?
We're noticeably blue.
It
But
looks
not
it looks like a 15% blue for me. Glenn, how much percent of blue do you think Cortana is in the new show?
I just feel like I have to be very careful with answering this because any response can be misconstrued as an attack on Jen Taylor's appearance because that is the original voice.
Yes.
But I think we're a blue deficit.
That's her voice actor?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
How did you not automatically know that?
I
Not
thought
a
they
Halo
dubbed her
fan.
in. I thought they dubbed her over another actress.
Wow. Not a Halo fan. Terrible.
No, that's really cool that they cast her, actually.
Yeah, actually, I read something a little quick. I don't read. I watched a video and someone said that the reason that Jen Taylor is doing the voice is because originally the actress that is playing Catherine Halsey was originally going to do the voice, but due to the pandemic and scheduling, they wound up getting Jen Taylor doing it.
And so they just cast her on screen.
So
That's
it actually
really
worked out really well.
Makes me wonder why they didn't get what's his name to dub in.
Yeah. So let's get into
That's the
that.
elephant in the room. I know he's been doing it for like 21 years now, or whatever. How many freaking years he's been voicing Master Chief? But if you're not gonna have Chief on screen showing his face, just get the guy in the fucking booth.
Yeah.
Like that's gonna be, if we get a scene with Chief without his helmet on talking and we can see his face for the camera, then I'm all right with a new actor. If not,
I was gonna say
choice.
that's why I think they're doing what they're doing is so that we can have that moment. And how do you guys feel about that? What if we see Master Chief's face for the first time? Even though this show is not, we've seen this before. Where?
The legendary ending in Halo 4 is a shot of Master Chief's face. We know
You
what
mean
his
the
face
eyes?
is like.
All we see is his eyes. That's nothing.
It's his. You can extrapolate what the rest of the dude's face kind of looks like from that.
I mean, Chief's face is so nondescript that they really could just put any actor like who's capable of playing like that role in the costume, and it probably wouldn't really register as being that different, which is why the voice is so important.
Yeah, he's generic brown-haired, normal-ass looking dude.
Yeah, he's just a guy, and I think to preface this, I mean, as fun as it would be to kind of talk about like the little things, or at least things I perceive as like nitpicks, like the fact that there's an AK-47 like right off the bat, 500 years in the future. Or the Chevy Jeep in the background.
No, because that's Halo. Like, yeah, it's them being cheap.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's indicative of I think a larger problem, but it's not super interesting to kind of harp on those little things because I think the fandom has beaten that horse like thoroughly and into paste by the time the trailer hit. So,
but my counterpoint to that is that's kind of the place Halo comes from, like a B movie. Let's rip off James Cameron's Aliens, Oorah Marines, kind of sci-fi.
Yeah.
You know? So like it fits at this point with the franchise being multi-billion dollars all over the world, taking out ads and fucking NFL football primetime and all that shit. And, I can see, but like. I'm willing to forgive it, I guess, for reasons that are probably just beholden to me.
Well, yeah, like I said, like it's not. I don't think it's super worth like going down that particular rabbit hole. Like, even though to me, at first, it's like this is like if the United States got invaded and like the Rust Belt like broke into a museum and started defending their homeland with muskets. Like that's kind of how it registered at first when seeing that. But
well, I could see like insurgents, like the UNSC insurgents using old AKs and stuff, because it's only a couple centuries in the. Oh wait, no, Halo's in 2500s. Never mind. Yeah, no, that'd be weird.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
250 for a second. I'm like, well, maybe.
But that is interesting that I feel that we might see a good chunk of this show, or at least this first season, talking about that maybe the Spartans weren't just designed to fight the Covenant, which I think a lot of people, some basic Halo fans, might be aware of. That the
They weren't
Spartans
designed to fight the Covenant at all.
right, they was just happened to be a coincidence that it went working out.
Yep.
They're Oni's private boogeymen.
Yes,
Problems
They're
go away.
literally there just to make rebels go away.
and to have that this character, I don't remember what her name is, Quine something, I don't know.
The Asian lady, right?
Yeah. Literally have this one line saying that, like, oh, you saved me. Why would you do that? Spartans don't do that. Is a really good line.
Man.
Yeah.
I just hope they don't make that a twist, because I think that would be such a obvious thing to do from like a show running perspective, but I think there's enough people who the show is going to net that are going to see that coming from a mile away. So to end something like with that would be, I don't know, that might read as predictable, but that could be an issue of adapting something that you thoroughly know inside and out. It's saying, oh, they're gonna make this be like a big dramatic reveal that the Spartans weren't made to fight the Covenant, and that they were actually, because they lean into that in the trailer about the fact that Chief was kidnapped and had all these awful surgeries and stuff done to him. So
here's my hot take. This show should not focus on the Master Chief. I think it's a bad decision.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I think because what you had said earlier about the continuity of this is straight up not canon. Like,
No,
this is following its
for
own.
any person that has played the games and are familiar with the franchise should automatically know it's not canon. There's no way any of this in this franchise lines up here. This story doesn't make any sense with the continuity of the games.
I mean, I'm kind of of two minds about this in regards to the TV series.
Right.
So, on the one hand, I've been of the opinion, like, the original Halo games were great, not because of really their story necessarily, and if they wanted to get into like this deeper, more character-driven kind of narrative, you should have like given us a new character to follow and maybe built him up so that he could like sort of step into the shoes of this living legend that is Master Chief, because that's what he is. He's a fucking myth.
right.
He's like a Greek god of war. He has no face. He has no defining characteristics. He's just this archetype of like the invincible super soldier.
Yeah, which is, I think, a lot of people may not understand. This hopefully something that the show will actually show you.
Yeah, and that's my second point. Because the show's not canon and because we're starting from square one, we have a chance to actually characterize Master Chief as an actual human now, while I think continuing to keep Master Chief as the protagonist of Halo is a bad idea, and no marketing department in the world will agree with me on that take.
Yeah.
We actually have a chance to see Chief as a real fucking character now. Which
Sure.
I'm interested to see if they do well or not.
Sure. I mean, I feel
In terms of making the most out of that situation, if you can't not have a story with Chief in it because he's the guy in the box, then in order to make this show compelling to especially people who have no idea what a Halo is or who Master Chief is, then you have to make this person at least somewhat compelling, because otherwise people aren't gonna know like who these side characters are and why they're important. They're probably gonna see the UNSC just from an outside perspective as just being an organization run by like literal monsters.
Yeah.
So Chief would probably be the most sympathetic character on the human side that isn't just a grunt or a civilian.
And you can't get away with like the supporting characters you had in the old Halo games. Like, there's no way in a million years whatever studio's doing this show would let you get away with Sergeant Johnson.
Yeah.
No. It's just not happening.
Yeah,
who knows? Maybe season 2.
I'm still
if
kind
this
of
show does
conflicted
well,
on
let's hope we
animosity
can get
with it.
a Johnson.
Well, it's not on Netflix, so it's not going to get canceled immediately.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, when I first, but before I even clicked the trailer, I had thought like, okay, best case scenario, this is going to look like the old school live action trailers that Bungie used to do for Reach and ODST and 3.
Oh,
and
the
stuff.
new
Or-
WorldCamp ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or
It's
at
really
worst,
good, though.
but at worst, it's gonna look like a Netflix adaptation of Halo. Like it's gonna look like what Netflix did to The Witcher, and I think,
Well, Netflix Witcher is good, though.
yeah, but it doesn't look like it. It looks cheap. I think the writing is good and the characters are great, but it doesn't like have that. I don't know. Maybe it's just how they like saturate things, or how like they do the lighting being really flat, but it just looks cheap. But anyway,
Yeah.
the
I mean, I think it gives it great Xena Warrior Princess vibes, but Xena Warrior Princess was also shitty, so.
yeah, right. I think we're kind of, at least for me, I feel like we're kind of somewhere in the middle. I think there are parts of this that show that really are trying to show off like that this has some kind of budget behind it, and that it looks, like it looks like it has some money behind a lot of the effects, but some other things just, I don't know, like that's why I think that some of the nitpick stuff kind of has a cumulative effect, because yeah, there's no reason to be pedantic about like a Chevy in the background, but if you see that, like if you see stuff like that, it kind of compounds. And
Yeah.
if you're already approaching this with a degree of scrutiny, if you're a fan of the show, then all that stuff's gonna be like multiplied in your head. So
Yeah. All right, now
I don't think
let me ask you this, if this would make the situation better or worse.
sure.
What if, like, they try and justify their shitty props and, like, have, like, a line of dialogue that says, oh, yeah, Chevrolet makes warthogs and we have surplus.
I mean, if they don't
no.
draw too much attention to it, like
Yeah.
it's not all that different from. I think there's a deleted scene. This is a deep cut. This is like a deleted scene in like Alien Resurrection that says that Walmart bought out Wayland Yutani, and it's like a line. It's like it doesn't get mentioned at all. It's just like, oh yeah, I guess that kind of is plausible. I guess. Oh, let's move on to the next thing. Like if they don't, I think if they
no,
tried
it's
to.
not to like jam it into the plot or anything.
Yeah.
Just like,
yeah,
oh yeah, we have Chevys here because Chevy makes warthogs.
Wait,
That would be
where
a
in this
great-
trailer did you guys see a Chevy? Were there warthogs? Is there a Chevy logo on a warthog?
They have a couple. They have a couple technical. You know what a technical is, Joe?
No.
So a technical is like a catch-all term for any like truck or car that they've modified for like combat.
Oh, okay.
Like the Middle Eastern insurgents will like put the machine guns on Toyotas
Hmm.
and stuff.
Yeah,
Those are
yeah.
technicals.
Oh, okay.
Warthogs before warthogs.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But no,
I
in
have to
the
watch the
scene
trailer
where,
again, but I think they have a couple of things like those in there.
in the scene where Chief is like the big money shot scene where Chief is fighting the elites,
Oh,
and
okay.
there's like that medium shot of him dodging the energy swords in the background.
Oh,
you see
yeah.
it.
Okay, I see.
It
Yeah, I
kind of
see.
reminded me of the pickup truck that was in Game of Thrones. Like that's like it didn't seem, it seemed like a mistake. It didn't
Right,
it didn't
like
register
that
thing
could
was
be like
decorated to look like it was part of the world.
like imagine it's supposed to be like a ghost,
Yeah.
the Covenant ghost vehicle or something.
Maybe they just that they haven't put the CG model over it.
Yeah, like it's
Oh,
supposed to be
fucking
something
shot.
else.
Well, why would you put that in your big reveal trailer though? Like, there's a
Something
difference
out-
between like Game of Thrones production fatigue, where they're on like their last season and nobody gives a shit that the fucking water bottles are in the shot.
Yeah, that was a pretty crazy moment.
Yeah, I think they just wanted to get something. Who knows? Like they could just do what Disney does, and they just like quietly erase errors like that next time you boot the show up, and they could just say chalk it up to we want to get this trailer out as soon as possible, and the
Yeah.
effects weren't finished. Like they could just as easily do
Man,
that.
if we start going into an age where my TV shows have patches, I think I just quit.
Dude, there already is. What are you talking about? You guys said it before with Game of Thrones and the water bottle. They literally
Well, and
updated that
then,
that same week.
Yeah, I quit, man. This is why I do RPGs. It's more authentic.
The thing that I thought was baffling, and to kind of segue into another thing that is going to probably cause a schism in the fandom, is the presence of a human within the ranks of the Covenant.
That's not the
Yeah,
first
let's
time
talk about her. What is her name? I need to figure out what her name is.
Okay, so here's my theory,
Go ahead.
and if I'm right, people are gonna fucking riot.
Let's do it.
She's a prophet. That's what the prophets look like in this universe.
No, yeah, no, I doubt that because they show the rooms with the prophets too.
Did
It's
they?
like it's very, very quick.
It
but there's
looks like a
shot-
room with a white flower in it.
Yeah, and you see 3 chairs.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you, I think she's a prophet.
Yo, if she is a
think,
prophet, I might be done. I might be like, I'll still watch it, but I just be like hate watching
Yeah.
it.
I think
You can't deal with sexy female prophets, Joe.
Oh my god, why can't we just have old men like it's supposed to be?
just have 3 Palpatines.
Yeah.
What's better than 1? 3 of them. No, I think
let's see.
If they casted him to play the prophet of regret or something, or
Uh,
no, Mercy. Mercy's the
Maki?
old crusty one.
Her name's Maki.
Okay. Yeah, I think okay, so I think my prediction for this one is going to be this was a obviously a human survivor that was taken in by the Covenant, and I think the person who did it is the elite that is going to, in this show's continuity, become the Arbiter as a way to kind of give him some early characterization, so we like him when he switches sides and isn't. And I think the prophets are going to agree with that decision because they need a human to keep like within arm's length so they can turn on all the Forerunner stuff. So they don't.
Yeah, they probably know that.
Oh yeah, that's
like,
not a bad
actually,
plot point. Yeah, I like
they
that.
knew that in canon. Actually.
They need a reclaimer. Yeah.
Yeah.
They need a reclaimer. Yeah. So I have a feeling like that.
Yeah,
like if I was
probably what it is.
Yeah, there it is. That's the shot.
they're gonna say that. Oh well, why don't we just kill her? But she could like maybe they'll find her like in the colony that has a Forerunner artifact underneath of it,
And she knows how to work it or something, or like who knows.
They attribute her being like a survivor or being near as some kind of sign of religious like importance, and therefore spare her because like the Covenant only have like a fraction understanding of how any of the Forerunner stuff works.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be a stretch for me to assume that them being basically space like evangelicals just kind of assume that she's some sort of like divine like messenger or whatever.
Yeah, and then they probably indoctrinate her to think that way because that's how they do things.
Yeah, it's just kind of funny to me that she's like has a line, "Oh, you have to surrender to the Covenant." It's like, what do you think is going to happen to you once they win?
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously her mind is brainwashed. Yeah.
It's the great journey, my
right.
guy.
They're brainwashing her with the great journey. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's different from being like a normal quisling, where like if you're a brainwashed one, it's not the same thing, I guess. But I don't know. I think if this reveal had been a thing like when I was like really into the games, I probably would have like more of a stink to it. But at this point, I'm just kind of like, oh, whatever. It's a new thing. I do think though that they're probably going to have a human from a purely like technical reason. It's probably really expensive to animate prophets, brutes, hunters, grunts, etc. So having a human
practical effects.
Well, that's pretty expensive too. But like, so having a human face as an antagonist means you don't need to have as many scenes with brutes and jackals and all those kinds of things. You could just have her do things on behalf of the prophets and save a ton of money. Because there's that shot of her attacking some UNSC facility with a bunch of hunters, like Lagolo worms, and that's kind of a neat way to use them.
No, for sure.
As opposed to just being hunters.
Like, they used them like that in where they
Nightfall.
Locke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're on a fragment that's infested with Lagolo worms.
Cool.
And they faked us out a little bit because they made us think it was the Flood, and I was really pissed about it.
Yeah, I was pissed about that too.
Yeah, after seeing that, I always have that argument in my head where it's like, how come they never had that be a type of enemy in the game? And I'm like, oh, right, because that'd be annoying as hell to actually fight.
Yeah, no, it looks like a lot of these characters. Yeah, Master Chief, 9 episodes. So they're just going to be 9 episodes altogether.
Well then, yeah, maybe.
Oh, truth. So yeah, they have somebody's doing a voice actor as the Prophet of Truth.
So they are going to have prophets then.
Yeah, he's going to be in 3 episodes.
My crazy theory is immediately debunked, and I'm happy about it.
Why do you guys think they chose to do away from the canon, make this separate from the storyline from the games?
Who is this for? Joe, you're giving them too much credit. This isn't for anyone. This is we have this IP, and our focus groups tells us that it's going to be quite popular, so let's greenlight it for 9 episodes and see how much ad revenue we can make.
I mean, sure, you're not wrong, absolutely not wrong, but I find it interesting because there are a lot of moments in this that I feel like, wow, this is like ripped, like literally, like for example, when Master Chief is fighting those two elites, I'm like, dude, that is straight from the games. Like that is such a cool moment. I love that. Um,
That's there. It's definitely not garbage. Is the best way I can describe. Like it looks like someone gave half of a shit, and maybe I'm just so burnt out on Halo making terrible story decisions that I can't bring myself to get excited about it. But
hmm.
it doesn't look totally phoned in, and I'm willing to give it a chance.
You know, the costume design's really good. I feel like it's pretty really accurate to the games. It's not they're not trying to do anything weird or funky with it,
Well, except
Right.
for Cortana.
except for Cortana. Yeah.
Well, again, because that's her actual voice actress. Maybe she didn't want to be blue, guys. You ever think of that?
Jen Taylor might have a lot of pull with this production. It could be like a whole. She could be have a production credit. I'm not sure.
Look,
But
as long as they don't do uncanny face like they do in Infinite, I'm fine.
Oh, see, that's what makes it
Right.
weird about it not being blue is that it adds to that uncanny valley effect where you
Yeah.
you're not looking at a person, but you can't help but associate that face with being a human
Cortana
face.
has uncanny valley in Infinite.
Yeah, the new weapon is like her smile. She smiles with her teeth, and it's like, okay, you can stop now. Like,
She feels like her face always looks like she is cringing at something instead of smiling. Yeah, I kind of question the whole canon divergence on the basis of what this whole enterprise is being aimed at, because to me it reflects that the people in charge of this don't have a great deal of confidence in Halo's ability to tell good stories, because if they did, they could have just as easily drawn something from the expanded universe and then adapt that. I think you could make a compelling story out of the Fall of Reach, or just telling a side story in the games and then have Master Chief be like a big like breakout moment that gets all the hardcore fans reinvested, and just have it be
Yeah,
have an
but
original.
that's
We have to
But
have an
well, I think
analog.
I think
get
Glenn,
that.
what you're describing is what until Forward Unto Dawn is, because it's about ODSTs, and the main characters are just normal ODST characters, and Master Chief just happens to just show up.
Forward Unto Dawn's really fucking good. I love that miniseries.
Forward on to Dawn about the guy who grew up to become the captain of the
Yeah,
Infinity
it's
War.
about Lasky.
He was a big
Yeah,
cadet,
part of that is yeah.
and Master Chief saved his life or something like
yeah, no,
that.
Yeah.
he's the main character.
Right. Yeah, I vaguely remember that, and this TV show definitely looks better than that.
That's
I
for
just
sure.
don't think it has the same. I don't know. Maybe it's just nostalgia talking, but there's something about it that feels like it's lacking the kind of I don't know. Maybe it's just the grit of those old school like ODST commercials and like the Believe stuff. Like it just feels like that those
That
school-
feeling, that I know exactly what feeling you're describing. That hasn't been in Halo since Halo Reach to me, really.
like yeah, but there's just like the it's not even just the grit. Like those had so much like style to them. Like it looked like an actual like a person with a vision or with like with an idea of what they want the universe to look like, and like here's
Yeah.
how I'm going to do it. So like yeah, that's why those 30-second ads are so memorable, is because they have so much going on beyond just looking good. They look good for like a very specific set of reasons. And
Yeah.
like this just seems very safe and very. And it's funny that I'm saying that it feels safe, because I feel like if this had come out 5 years ago, I would look at all these storytelling decisions that they're doing and just like completely balk at it. But I can't help but think of this as being just like, yeah, this is what I would expect a Halo TV series to look like around now. Like this is exactly what I expected to
You
be.
know, that's like the perfect word, I think, to describe this overall feeling. It feels very safe.
You know, the new series, you know, I think what really makes it feel like a television series is when we see, let's say, any shot with Catherine Halsey, and just like the humans at the base. That's why I could actually feel like this is a TV show. Everything else, the action sequences, that feels like a legit movie. It feels movie to me. They put their budget in the right places.
They certainly have the money to do it. I just question where they're going to spend that money, and it seems like the trailer has kind of given some of those given some of those decisions away, like when it comes to some of the decisions, like like I said, the stuff like the nitpicky stuff, like the Chevy, and like some of the bigger stuff, like the human antagonist character. I think there's enough there for people to speculate and make videos like this, where we kind of talk about where this franchise could be going, or where this show could be going more specifically. Uh, I I mean, it's Paramount. I know they're responsible for like the new Star Trek shows, which haven't been received super well.
I don't give a shit that there's a continuity reboot in Halo.
It's true.
Well, not even just
No,
that,
Matt,
just
you're
like,
absolutely right. Yeah.
presentation of it and stuff. Because they were trying to make a Halo movie, like a Halo live action
Yeah.
thing for years now.
Right. I'm
Yeah.
sure there's been a script been passed around from studio to studio, director to director, and just nothing has ever been done with it. I want to know what that script looks like.
There's probably more stories of Halo extended media that didn't get made than there are actual Halo extended like live action media. But I'm actually kind of glad that that movie project fell through, because if it didn't, we wouldn't have gotten District 9 out of it. So
True.
there's a silver lining to that.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, Nightfall, and Forward on the Dawn, they have their own place in my heart. Halo Legends is a legend.
You can't top Halo Legends.
You can't.
You literally cannot. That it's like the Animatrix, like that.
Yeah.
That's peak Halo. Like,
Yeah, it's
Halo's
really
the
good.
Perfect universe to tell like vignettes and shit like that from. I love stuff like that.
Like that's one thing about getting not so burnt out that you don't care at all, but enough that you're not super passionate like you used to, is that you do kind of become more open-minded just out of sheer like
I want something
whatever.
that's gonna give me fucking aneurysm. Either from the fan reactions to it or the thing itself.
It is kind of funny though to occasionally like lurk on like the forums and stuff in the subreddits, just to see like the people who would have been us, give or take like a decade, losing their minds over like the smallest of things.
Yep.
And then seeing the reaction to those decisions, like, well, actually,
Yeah.
like it warms my heart.
Someone's keeping that very smelly dumpster fire alive.
Yep. Keep it
Burning,
going.
whatever you want to call it.
Keep it going. Keep the tradition going, fans. You lit Star Wars on fire. Now go do the same with Halo whenever it does new things. I think Halo has established that it's enough of a brand to sustain itself in other mediums, or at least someone at Paramount thinks that's the case.
Yeah.
I mean, the games still print money.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
We still have kids and full-time jobs and everything now, but you know what? There's still money in the budget for the new Halo.
Yeah. That's for sure.
Yeah. I think talking about this honestly kind of it's making me more cautiously optimistic about the TV show. At first I was gonna say like I just watched the trailer and I just passed out. I wanted to have a lay down, just go to sleep.
Yeah.
Just fell off my chair and just slept. But I think
my reaction wasn't anywhere even close to that negative. My initial reaction, I watched it for the first time like 10 minutes after I woke up this morning.
Mm-hmm.
So that's Headspace, and I'm just like, this looks okay. I'm not offended.
I think if we did a live reaction, that would have been fun, because I think, and again, completely off the cuff, I think the first time I saw Cortana, I think I did like an audible like oof.
Like, well, actually, you know what? I mean, my first reaction.
I was like, wait a minute, that's supposed to be Halsey? Wait a minute, that's supposed to be Cortana? Hold up, they casted all these different people? Wait, Master Chief has a different voice?
I think
and trailer's over.
Master Chief got me the most, because I watched the first trailer. I'm like, man, they didn't even have him talk the entire time, and I had to watch it again. I'm like, oh, that's his voice. I was listening, really ready to listen to like his original voice, just be like this more booming, like, we're gonna go get him, just like more deeper, and it feels a lot lighter than I'm used to. It's not as
heavy. It also
heavy.
seems like they put a lot of modulation on the Chief's voice. Like he
Yeah.
sounds kind of almost like a robot.
Well, they always do that, though, don't they?
No, Steve Downs. That's just Steve Downs' voice.
Oh, he just sounds like that?
He just sounds like that. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, the way I approach the voice thing, it's like if someone complained like, oh, there's this Star Wars side project, and Darth Vader isn't James Earl Jones. It's like, dude, do you know how many
He's
voice
like
actors
1,000.
Yeah, do you know how many voice actors voice Darth Vader? Who cares? It sounds deep enough, and they actually got a guy who is game to act in the suit and do physical stuff in the suit, but also do the talky bits. So
Yeah.
that's
And
cool.
he doesn't sound terrible. I'm
No,
loving it.
it's not the worst.
by all-
No, it could be worse. It could be way worse.
It could be a lot worse, and it's an alternate continuity. He just
And
has a different
also-
voice in this universe.
Yeah.
Problem
And
solved.
also, yeah, by all accounts, too, the guy, I think his name's like Pablo something. I
Yeah.
don't remember. By
I
all
gotta
accounts,
pull it up.
he seems like a big fan of the games and stuff. Like, if there's
Schreiber.
anyone in that room that wants this to succeed, it's probably him and Jen, because
For sure.
they have the most like connection to this. Like I said, I'm not bragging on Cortana not being blue because it's Jen Taylor's face. That's actually a really smart decision
Yeah.
to get.
I think
this
that's great.
Old school Cortana, but like you couldn't have sprung for like the anniversary model for the AI stuff because she's already playing Halsey, as far as I know.
Right.
So I don't know.
Jen
Like,
Taylor's playing Halsey and
No.
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 he's not.
No.
no,
Oh, because it's the same voice, right?
No, it's
Oh,
not.
okay, maybe.
Like I said earlier, it was originally going to be the same voice actress, which was going to be hold on. No, not Miranda Keys. Halsey. Natasha. It's Natasha, but it's with a CHA. Is that usually? No, that's not usually spelled Natasha.
No, that's not how you spell Natasha.
Natasha.
Natasha?
Natasha. I don't know. Natasha McElhorn.
We're sorry, madam. We can't pronounce your name.
Yeah. I'm just an idiot. Dr. Catherine Halsey is being played by her, and then of course Jen Taylor is Cortana. So it's that she was originally gonna be this Natasha girl, being playing as Cortana, but because, like I said, because of scheduling, they wound up was able to get Jen Taylor. Which I don't know why that was not the first choice anyway.
Because they're doing a new continuity, so I guess they wanted
Yeah.
to, like, an all-new cast. But like
if you want to get Halo fans, you get Jen Taylor. So
I was gonna say, like, if Jen Taylor's down to clown and be on camera as Cortana,
yeah.
why is
Yeah.
that not Plan A?
Yeah.
I do. Okay, I will retract that. Although, I mean, in terms of fan casting, I do think after I had watched Possessor with you guys, I do think Jennifer Jason Leigh would have been an amazing Catherine Halsey. If anyone doesn't know, if anyone wants to see like the cold and calculating and like emotionally manipulative Halsey, like the cool Halsey, watch Possessor. 'Cause you
Yeah.
pretty much get that.
And she's even blonde and kind of old. It works.
Yeah, she's perfect. She's perfect.
She
Jennifer
actually kind
Jason
of looks
Leigh,
like
if you're watching
whatever her name is that they did cast, whose name we
Little
can't
bit.
pronounce. Just a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. No, that that was like pitch perfect. I think it's pretty predictable, but I would love to see Dennis the Menace, Denis Villeneuve's take on Halo, because I think he'd be a perfect fit for it.
Oh, sure. I mean,
And I'm
he
not
did
just saying
Dune
that
so
because I just
well.
watched
So
I'm not just saying that because I just want to talk about
no, you're
Dune.
absolutely just saying that because you want to talk about Dune.
Well, you had, in my defense, Joe did say, so they could do this with Dune, but not Halo.
Right.
Like, you had said something to that extent. So
No,
it's
I
not
absolutely
completely
did.
out of left
And I
field.
was gonna ask you, like, is Dune? I should say, is Halo like in that realm of Dune where it's like it can't be done? It's so hard. I mean, obviously we've seen Dune can be done.
No, not even close.
So like, why hasn't it? Why is it taking them this long to make a Halo movie?
Because it's really hard for video games to branch out of video games.
Yeah, I was about to say
It's
it's
just
not,
that.
it's not the problem with Halo as a story, because I think if you want to make a story out of Halo for a general audience, you might want to actually take some creative liberties with it, just so you don't get accused of being derivative, because that's the thing.
Halo's
is
incredibly generic and derivative. What makes
Right.
it good is being able to play through that.
yeah,
Yeah,
and I
okay.
think,
Of those cliches yourself.
yeah, and I think when you're 10 years old, you don't you know,
really
you
think
might
about it.
you don't
Yeah.
really think about that stuff, and like and then you start, you know, playing StarCraft and watching Aliens and start, you know, reading Starship Troopers, and you're just like, oh, okay, this is
This shit came
everything. Okay,
Yeah.
I gotcha. No, but Dune is the exact opposite. It's the story itself that is just so weird and out
And
there
esoteric
and
and original. Like it's the progenitor of a lot of these tropes that Halo uses, actually.
yeah, honestly, the undersuit, Joe, that Master Chief and the Spartans wear
Right.
under their armor is basically a still suit. Like in terms of
Right.
how it functions in the story,
Okay.
like that's basically what it does. Like it recycles their sweat and piss and shit, and they drink it, so they can be on like long deployments and stuff. Like they
Okay.
took some things. They took some things.
Halo new series. It's not a question of if we're gonna watch it. We're definitely gonna watch it. We're very excited, but we do have some. We're a little concerned, but mostly positive. Very excited. Right, guys?
I think we should. Yeah, I think we should definitely once it drops. We should do one of these for. I don't know if they're gonna drop the whole season at once or. If
Yeah,
they're
I don't
gonna
know
do
either. I hope they
weekly.
do episode by episode. I kind of
Yeah,
like how
'cause I would
Disney
really-
Plus has
I
been
would-
doing it.
I would really like to do like a week by week thing. Like even if
I
they drop
would
it all at
enjoy
once,
that.
We could just watch one a week, and
Yeah.
come here and shoot the shit and be like, yeah, this is what we thought. This is cool. This was shit.
Joe, if you do that, you might be able to write your Paramount Plus subscription as a tax write-off because it's for your job.
My job.
do it.
Give it a shot. You have nothing to lose.
I could try.
Or alternatively, not condoning anything, we could find it when it arrives on through other methods.
Rather unscrupulous back channels of
Yeah.
which I have no knowledge.
Anyway, Halo the series is debuting March 24th.
Go watch it on Paramount Plus. Yeah, right.
It's another streaming
Get
service.
yourself
you
a
have to worry
Paramount Plus
about.
subscription. Give those fine people your money. They deserve it. They work really hard.
Yeah.
Entertainment.
Yeah. I
Really
mean,
Disney
hey.
Plus anyway.
I mean, hey. I mean, Paramount's gonna get my money. So, this trailer proved it. So, please like, comment, and share what you guys think about this series. What's your favorite Halo game? Mine's Halo 3.
What's your favorite Halo game and why is it Reach?
Why is it Reach? Matt's is Halo Reach. Glenn, I would say yours is what, Halo 1? Still favorite Halo game?
I'll be the old man of the group.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what's funny is like I can't argue this without getting like pummeled by your general audience because most of the people have like nostalgia towards Reach. So there's probably going to be a lot of people firmly in Matt's corner on this one. So.
But thank you so much for joining us on this adventure. I hope you guys have been enjoying it. And don't forget, I'm not crazy. I'm Joe Crazy. Glenn, Matt, thank you so much. And you guys
Glad to
have a
be here.
great night.
Yeah, thanks.